I suppose the first question really is, how did how did you end up out there?
Well, we were living in Dublin with Kim, and then we decide. Well, she's from here. She's born and bred in Leenaun. So we're like, we're both like she was studying, I was working, and we decided to. We didn't want to work for anybody else, so let's start our own thing. So yeah, so we began like looking for food trucks, or because it was a lack of kind of a food in the area. So it
Yeah.
wasn't. We saw a market for it. So yeah, we jumped into the possibility, and then what started as a plan turned into a reality. So yeah, we begin like that.
Deadly. And you've, like, I suppose, for a food truck, you've won a ton of awards, and like you're very well recognized. Obviously, it's kind of a permanent location there you have, right?
Yeah.
It's not a mobile unit. How, I
So we
suppose, sorry, with all those awards and with all the kind of success you've had, like it must have gone even better than you thought.
yeah. So didn't happen overnight, and then we are not trained with Kim. I work in a couple of kitchens back. I'm from Chile, so back in Chile, but we kind of learn on the job, and so then we basically just start cooking. We both come from very foodie families. My mom
Yeah.
is a great cook. Kim's mom is a great cook. So we always been involved in a kitchen. So we're like, you know what? Let's bring that into the food that we kind make, just like honest, nice food, and see what's going. And it happened with trial and error. A couple of things didn't work, other one did. So yeah.
Deadly. And how would you sum up the products, the food that you do?
So it kind of evolves. We At the beginning when we started, we basically opened the fridge, and it was like what we have there is what we cook for the day. So the menu changed every day, which if you think like that way now is a nightmare, because
Yeah.
sometimes it was just like too much of a rush for it. So now it kind of evolves. We have our little kind of plates that we keep on the shelf all the time to just cook every season. And otherwise, we during the quiet times like now, we start creating a menu for the year. So we have that plan. So we try to change the menu every month or two, but we have set dishes on paper that we're gonna bring into it. So it depends. It really what we would like to eat, what we like to cook. We cook a home dinner, let's say for friends or family, and then, oh, that's very nice. Let's cook that on the Heron too.
Yeah. Deadly. Is there any kind of I suppose kind of standout lesson that you've learned since when you started to now that's kind of I suppose served you well?
I think it's being constant and being a bit resilient. When we started with Kim, we had this romantic idea of a food truck in Connemara, how lovely, how
Mm.
beautiful, and then it was, oh, wow, this is like long days, long hours, very busy. But if you develop or you have a passion in a care, and then the lesson will be just like kind of be constant, be resilient. When things get hard, sounds cliche, but it's so true that when things get hard, don't just like quit. Not every day will be perfect, but you're gonna have a day that is gonna be perfect. It's gonna be like, oh, that was lovely, and keep that positive mentality when things go wrong, and then just head down, keep going, and things will get better eventually, and will get nice. You get to a point. Also, don't get comfortable, and if change is needed, change. Yeah, I think that
Deadly.
would be.
Deadly. In terms of so like running a food business at the moment, there's a lot, like obviously there was the big VAT campaign with the budget
Yeah.
recently to reduce the VAT, and there's obviously restaurants are closing kind of at quite kind of alarming
Hmm.
numbers. In terms of you guys, um, you don't have a bricks and mortar physical business, but you still have all the same costs in terms of staff, labor, food costs. How has it been for you? Like, how are you dealing with, I suppose, the current challenges?
So um, it was we tried to like make it up. We opened 7 days. We never opened 7 days before, but this year we did just to kind of balance everything out. And yeah, the cost is a big thing. Not only the cost in produce, then the rise in wages, which is a good thing too. But
Yeah,
so all this that happens has to be kind of a mirror in the prices that we have. So
yeah,
um, if it's a rise in prices of produce and wages, we have to up our prices too. So sometimes that doesn't go very well with the customer because they see a rise in price and it's like, well, I don't want to pay that.
mm,
So we have to kind of explain that. But yeah, it was a big chunk of cost of things, like a big percentage that went up in the things that they used to buy before. Also, we work with the menu. For example, during the week, I kind of put meat away, which is a very rare thing that I've never done before. So I focus more on a vegetarian menu and then specials on the weekend. I'm from Chile. Meat is what we eat there all the time. So for me, it was like, oh my God, what am I doing? But as I said, you have to change sometimes. You have to innovate. So we focus on that, and then the price went down, and then we can play around there.
yeah. When you look at, I suppose, so you're at this, a good couple of years now, and when you're looking at all these costs increasing, and I know you're a business, you love to use like, high end, like local produce,
Mm-hmm.
and obviously you're like your flavor and food driven. Is there any, I suppose, like I'm sure, sometimes a lot of businesses they kind of decrease costs or they're trying to obviously pivot all the time. Is there any sort of non-negotiables you have in your business, I suppose, that you just don't ever, I suppose, lay up on?
I think yes, we try to source our produce very locally. So, for example, we get our leaves and vegetables from Angus, from Inverin, and then our fish come from John Joe Flaherty in Letterfrag and things like that. So, but the non-negotiable that I was thinking about this, and doesn't matter where the produce come. I think the non-negotiable for me personally is put that care in everything. Like use that tomato, that chicken, that whatever as you cooking for your family. So the care and respect for what you have in front of you and create something nice because cook for all the people that if you're cooking for somebody you love, you care, and then it shows. I think that's the non-negotiable for me
Love it.
um, on that aspect. Yeah.
Yeah, very good. When you look into the future, Ronaldo, uh, like does I suppose do you ever look at another location, another restaurant, bricks and mortar? What's the kind of plans for you?
That's the plan, Evan. Brick-and-mortar. We hope so.
Right.
I could go in a bit of a rant here about like kind of how difficult it is to build around in
Yeah.
Connemara or in Galway. But we've been 7 years in the game now, and then we always want to like progress or get better. So we love to eventually be able to build something like a nice cafe. We have cool ideas, so it all depends. Finger crossed. In a couple of years' time, could happen, but at the moment, that's the next point over to
Well,
growth.
and would you look at staying out in that direction, Connemara, or
Yeah,
yeah,
that
why
would
not?
be the location. We love it there. It's so beautiful. We have a bit of a community around us too, and that is very important. We have a couple of businesses around that we link up. So we wouldn't move. We would like to stay there for sure.
Deadly. Final one for you, and I appreciate your time. I always like to ask people this, kind of entrepreneurial people, other businesses, whether it's a food business or in another industry, is there anything out there, any business you've seen that you admire or you kind of wish you started or you like the look of?
Well, I always wanted to be a professional athlete, but I think I'm kind of far gone from that one now. But I think I admire people that, because in the industry, hospitality or being a farmer or a food producer, it's hard work. You know yourself, you're very invested in food too. So you know how long it takes for everything to be made. We cook everything from scratch, so you have like long days too. So every person that does what it does with a smile on their faces, like a farmer or a food producer, I think I admire that. At the end of the day, if they sit down in their couches with their families or whatever, and they have a tea, and then they're like, you know what, oof, that was a hard day, but it was a good day. I think I admire all that person.
Yeah, spot on, deadly. But you had the right name for like a footballer, anyways. Your name is
Absolutely,
perfect.
yeah. I know a funny story. When I came to Connemara, it's a football club called West Coast United,
Yeah,
and they
yeah,
said like this guy called Ronaldo is coming to because I want to play a game, and I went to play that match, and everybody expected to be an amazing
yeah,
footballer,
yeah,
and I play. I'm not great, and I play horrendous, and everybody was like, "Oh well." So yeah, that's it. One match only.